Hey everyone, it is Catherine, and I have pretty much hit the halfway point with this. So I thought it would be nice to kind of come in and give a bit of an update and show what has changed and what I'm still trying to work on. And I'm gonna just start right here, I think, and work this way through the room. Okay, I have purged a ton, just in general, but I have a lot less fabric. Hopefully that's something that you can really tell. And I am going to continue to work in this space. I have things like the flannel there. I had bought it and wasn't impressed by the quality, but once fabric is cut, you can't send it back, right? So I'm going to make my unpaper towels with that, use the opportunity to get to know my new serger, and just continue to use up as much as I can, because I think I've really donated what I was comfortable donating. And I will do a video on what I chose to purge, how I came to that decision and how I went about it, because I do actually think that it would be a worthwhile video, especially if you're a person that is looking to kind of scale back, but you don't know where to start. So in these three, I have my yarns, most of my yarns, and yarn related things. So one of them is almost completely just like my blocking boards and like the bowl that I use to hold my yarn and the little yarn winder thingy. I have scraps in here. And then in this one, I want to say it's all my acrylic yarns. I don't have a lot of acrylic yarns. I do use some, but not a lot. So I have that in that box. And then in that box, I think it is, I have like my projects that I started but didn't complete. So I need to figure out a plan for those. And I have done a little bit of work in here. For a long time, I actually couldn't work in this thing. I don't know. It's listed as a few different things. It's a buffet, it's a sideboard, which I think is the same thing, an entertainment center, but I like it in here. And I actually have this in a couple other rooms. I have 3 of these total in my house. I actually just really like it. It's very functional storage. So I have gone through here and I'm still trying to figure out what I want to go where, how to best use this for what I want to use it for. So that's a process. It really is. I use that word way too much, but it's a process, because I have to try things out and see how it flows. And I know that I'll be tweaking things in here for the next year. I have gotten rid of some of the fabrics that were here. I was really honest with myself about what I was going to use and what I wasn't. And I do still need to pare back with some of the contact papers, what I can reasonably use. And then I want to try to keep this space as clear as possible. And it's the same thing with this. I stashed the batting there because it was a good place to put it for the time being, but I don't want things to live there, because I think that's what makes your space look cluttered, and you get that trapped feeling, like the walls are closing in on you. So I have 3 washi towers here, and as you can see, this one has some kind of empty-ish drawers with other things in it. My goal is to have 2 washi towers and no more. I really don't want to have more than that. I think that's a reasonable amount. And you can see there's like holes in there where there's tapes missing. I do have 1 small drawer at my desk with all of the washi I want to use for this season. And I'm going to continue to do that because it's working really well. But I want this to be used for something else, or maybe just send it off to someone else who could get some use out of it, because I just don't want to have as much anymore. I went and I destashed some of my notepads and sticky notes, and I changed that setup. I found all the stuff that was in the ottoman and I brought it in here. It's like these little bundles. And okay, I really need to go through this again and be particularly brutal this time, because while I do feel like I made legitimate progress, it's much better than it was. I know that I can do better, and I need to stop hanging on to things for the sake of holding on to them, or because I like some element of it, or it's pretty, but I know I'm never going to use it. Because just looking at something, sometimes that can be reason enough to hold on to something, but if you feel like you don't have enough space, it's not reason enough to hold on to something. And I do need to go through this entire cabinet once more and then see where I am. I will probably continue to use this space between the wall and this bookshelf, just because I do have things like cutting mats and the boards for my flat lays, just that general sort of thing. And the wall, up against the wall, it keeps them flat. So I'm fine with dedicating like one small space to that, especially off, shoved in the corner that I'm just not going to otherwise access. It works. And why change it if it works? I have my greeting cards in there, and then like Legos and goofy things in there. So I need to figure that out. And my husband took his printer, which is marvelous because his printer was absolutely massive. And it's just like a basic black and white toner printer that I don't really use. And I'm very happy using my color printer. And now I have that space for my silhouette. So I need to get that set up the way I like it and finish with that box. And it's great, actually. I'm so happy because that box is a box full of empty boxes. And then that bin is filled with empty bins. And it's just, I don't like to throw out storage. So I need to figure out what I need, where I can put it. And then once I'm positive I don't need it anymore, I can send it off to a new home. And I want to empty this out to keep it for work in progress things only. And I love that it's on wheels. And now that I'm on the first floor, I can kind of wheel it behind me. So I need to figure out a new home for the pens that are in there and all the little knick-knack, bric-a-bracs, all that stuff. It needs to find a new home so that this can stay pretty much empty. And I'm like caged in. My wands need to go up on the wall. I'm thinking like command hooks. Let's see. All right. You know what? I'm going to have to climb over this stuff. Sorry, guys. All right, so I'm on this side, and these have just been great for holding papers and that type of thing. And I think I need to get some paper trays because things go in the drawer and they get stacked, and it's good, not great. And I'm thinking I want to put my vinyls and related items in there. So I do need to figure out a storage solution so that everything's easily accessible, because when things aren't easily accessible, that's when you just don't use them. And that's how clutter builds. So I have scraps and my ironing boards. That's the bag that holds my long arm, not long arm, what's the embroidery arm for my machine, which isn't here because it's in the shop. Pegboard is up. I'm so happy about this. It's not the one I wanted. It's not the pretty ones that everyone has. My husband went to the hardware store and he's just, I don't know if it was the store he went to or not. And it was kind of an unauthorized field trip because we don't go out. Like, we don't go out at all. And he went to the hardware store for me because they really just would not ship it. And he said either people are editing those photos or they have access to something different or they have really low standards. He was not willing to buy it. This was more expensive, but I know it's going to last the life of the house, and it's steel, so I can use magnets on it. Aesthetic wise, not great. Practicality wise, phenomenal. So you know what? We'll call it a drawer. I don't know. My husband was making fun of me for that recently. My new serger, I need to spend some time getting used to that. And my planner, I'm trying to use this. And I'm not being nuts about what I write in it because I'm just trying to get onto some semblance of a schedule and use what I have. No more, oh, I have to wait for a perfect kit. Oh, I can't use these 9 stickers because I need to order the 10th. Just if it kind of matches, I'm going to use it and be done with it. So I have like Mummy Lay, Happy Scrappy, Happy Dia, and random stickers and washi tape and stuff in here. And I'm just not fussing about it, at least not for now. And that needs to be moved. And my desk is a mess. That's fine. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to have where, what I'm going to hold on to, what's going elsewhere. It really is just trial and error with so much of this stuff. I've just pulled a bunch of seasonal things and put them in these drawers, pulled all my seasonal stickers or stickers I want to use up, put them right there because when they're in your face, you're more likely to use them. And I have to say it is working. And I love being able to just pull like 2 drawers and I'm good. I have downsized things like my punches. All of my punches are in here. Every last one of them, and then some other, like, what is that? Oh, that's my snaps, like clothing snaps. My crocodile, my mini crocodile. This filled an entire drawer, an entire one of these, the big ones. And that's all I have left. So very little left. Like those boxes are empty. And then I have just like scraps of fabric and things that were thrown around in these bins until I figure out what I want to go in them, what works best. And I'm loving things like I can have my cutting implements right there. This still needs to be hung. I'm hoping in the next few days. Come on. I just used some like string and thumbtacks to run these to create these lines, and I'm going to be able to hang my floral swags from it, so I will be able to use and enjoy them. Unfortunately, yes, it came like that. It's the glue. I bought it from Amazon. It was not very expensive. I would have sent it back, but you know what? It's not worth the hassle, and I'm going to cover it up with the floral swags. I'm not going to see it, so I don't care. It's fine. I love this table. It's everything I wanted. It is smaller than the table I had in here before. It is the same height, which is great because I'm tall. And most of the crafting tables are ridiculous. They're like this height, so I don't know if you can kind of tell, but this is like around 31 inches or something like that, standard table height, so that you can sit at it comfortably. This is more like 36. My inseam is 37, so my back is going to hurt no matter what I do. When I'm standing there cutting, it's just the way it is. I am tall, but it's better than some of the other ones that are out there. It was worth the money, and I am just so over the moon with it. The top is heat resistant, supposedly, and this cutting mat was a separate purchase. It was obnoxiously expensive, and the fumes that came off of it, I'm surprised I'm still alive. It's that bad. It's just so, like, you really need to have a place that's safe outdoors where you could keep it for like a week. And when I say you need to take it out of the packaging and let it air out, you can't keep it in the pack. Like you have to put it somewhere where it can really, there's good ventilation. It is so bad. And I know if I lift this up and flipped it over, I'd have to deal with it all again. It's just so bad. But there just aren't a lot of options for something that's this exact size. And I wanted something that was the exact size because my old mat, which is like, I cut through it. My old mat hung over the edge of the table and it drove me nuts because things would like shift. I wanted something that was the exact size of my table. I also wanted something white. Unfortunately, I could not find anything white. This is like the only one, and it's yellow on the other side, but it's fine. And yeah, I have just like a few little random things over here. If anyone is interested, I can do a review on this table because I do know it's expensive. And that might put some people off of it, but I am, at least for now, first impressions, absolutely thrilled with it. And my husband managed to put it together like himself before I even woke up. So that was really a nice surprise. All right, so that is it for this video. Questions, comments, please leave them down below. I love hearing from everyone. And until next time, bye.